What's up, Limitless Motorsports here. Today we're going to be hopefully removing the transmission, getting the drive shaft ready and prepped to go, putting the motor in, putting the transmission in, and putting the exhaust in, hopefully.
Oh.
So, here's all our new parts. We got new U-joints, we got a new seal for the rear, plus a bushing. And we got a new drive shaft yoke. Because if you saw on our Facebook page, you should follow us by the way, the drive shaft yoke on the aluminum drive shaft is bad. And I kind of wanted to switch the other one over to save a little money. Because we are going to be stealing some parts off of the white Mustang. But I really don't want to take every single last part. And plus that one was kind of rusty. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable putting that on there without a light sanding anyways. So I was like, I'll just buy a new one. Not too bad. $48, so.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to get down on, we're going to get down on the floor. And we're going to remove this transmission.
Alright. Okay, so right now we are removing the clutch dust cover, the clutch cable, and the starter. So we can get this T5 out.
The very nice heavy transmission that's right on top of it. No, it's supported by the cross member, so it is safe.
Is this the cross member right here?
Yeah.
Alright.
Dust cover is El Removo. If I can get this in here right.
So now, the crowbar.
Crowbar, yeah, I forgot about some people doing this.
You're coming loose, goddammit.
There we go.
Is it coming out?
Yeah. There we go. It's out.
It's out?
Yep.
Nice.
Get this out. So now we don't need that anymore. So now the clutch cable now it's out of the fork. This is when I needed the screwdriver because there is a C-clip right there. And you have to get this off. Easy enough.
Oh, that was quite easy.
All it literally does is holds that cable into this housing. Then we pull the cable out. Now we're going to remove the starter. So this is my new pass-through socket set. So let's give it a shot.
That we spent, or you spent, $70 on.
Buddy, but it is worth it. Look at that. You don't have to mess with any deep wells.
Oh.
There we go.
Is it out?
No, but it's broke loose.
Good.
You can tell this has been welded and fixed. That's not exactly
Good.
It's not beautiful. Okay. Now that one is off.
So how many more to go?
One.
What?
It is easy.
Where is this one bolt?
I said easy. I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's up here on top. So we have one on bottom and one up here.
How do you do that?
By struggling immensely. Let's see if what? How about you give this a shot?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
You want to work, bitch?
I do.
You don't now.
Well, no, I still do. It's just, I don't want to fuck anything up because this is pretty important.
Oh my god, these are coming handy so far already.
Did you get it up?
No.
Or did you lick it?
I gotta leave. I kissed it.
You
This is a kiss, right? See? This is a lick. You have to be able to lick your tools. So now we have the motor supported with a block of wood on the jack. We've got the transmission jack. We're going to get it in position and get it lifted. And then we're going to try to reach up in there and start taking those bolts loose. So this is... I don't know how I'm going to be able to reach this without...
start jacking her off.
May have to come from both sides.
How are you supposed to get past it?
I'll probably have to come for two of the bolts over here and then come over there and do two of the bolts.
So there's 4 bolts.
6.
6. All
And
right.
then there's 2 for the starter. So we'll support this transmission. We'll put enough weight on there to kind of just itsy bitsy lift it up. And we'll probably take these out. Go ahead and take these. We'll take them loose.
Oh, what happened?
I'm thinking what I want to do. I think I'm going to use the short extension because I'm coming at a weird angle. Yeah, it's just not gonna hold it.
And don't pop yourself in the mouth.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Well, at least get on video.
Mark my words.
Alright, so what we are doing right now, we are removing the transmission. We have 3 out of 6 bolts done.
We're putting the safety chain on there now. And so that way it won't tip over when we're trying to get the transmission out from under it. So right now we're taking off the shifter and we're going to take the shifter bezel off. We've already broke all the bolts loose on the transmission, so all we got to do is take this and the cross member. And once we get these off, it'll we can pull it right out. We are removing the transmission itself. Oh. So that is pretty much off of the cross member. I left the bolts on there or the nuts just in case. So we'd have something to hold on to it a little bit better with. And then, let's see, get this. We're going slow so we don't put any strain on the motor, the transmission, or anything else. Okay. So we know that cross member should be loose and free.
Should.
Should be.
Wait, it's not disconnected right here. Hey,
Yeah, it is.
not over here?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yeah. The bolts are still in it, but I have to get them out. We'll have to lift that a little bit more. Pulling strain off of. There we go. That one's almost out.
No, but what about this one?
Do the same. Let's see. Just
How am I supposed to? Holy fuck.
okay. Grab the back side of that bolt. It should come right out now. All right, cross member's out.
Here's your bolt. Do you
Where
need
we're
your
going, we don't need bolts. She's free.
She's free?
Almost. This is the fun part.
Lowering, right?
Pulling out and lowering. Because we have to not only pull it away from the motor, we have to get it lowered. So we got the transmission out finally. We had to raise the car a little bit higher. This transmission jack that I have is, as you can see, is quite thick, even though it's listed as a low profile. And we tried to get the bell housing off, but the bottom of the transmission is like a V shape. I don't know if you can see that up under there. It's like a V shape, so it doesn't fit on there quite properly. I'll see if I can change that out, that lift pad. We got the clutch fork out. And as you can see, I think this might be messed up. We might have to get a new fork. I mean, it's kind of rough shape anyway. It's not supposed to be that way. Might go ahead and get a new pivot stud while we're at it, which is the pivot stud, for those of you who don't know, is this piece right in here. You might get a new one. Little bit of play. That's not a big deal. I've seen worse. This
And the bearing on the clutch fork, I mean, it sounds alright, but
it sounds all right, but we'll see what the price of the parts is, and if it's like $20, we'll go ahead and just replace it. And this is also called the throwout bearing. So yeah. So we'll look up parts. We gotta take this the rear end of the transmission off. extension housing. There's a bushing in here somewhere. We have to get that off. I may take this off and either replace it or clean it because it is filthy where it was leaking. Okay, that's just crud. But now we're going to move on to fixing the drive shaft. We have all the parts we need. We just got to get it on the... We'll get it on the workbench and we'll get started here in a minute. So...
Shall be interesting.
That's not...
It seems alright. I messed with it too, and it seems alright.
I think that movement right there, that's too much. It shouldn't be so...
It should be like...
It should be like this, where it's kind of tight.
Yeah. So what we are doing right now is removing the U-joint off of the drive shaft. So yeah. Can never go wrong.
We just want a little bit. We don't want to soak
Good
it.
old... Nah, soak it. The smell of WD-40.
What are they doing down there at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Who?
Oh.
Oh, it just came out. Nice.
So these are what's called needle bearings down in there.
Needle bearings.
And you're supposed to inspect these when you get these loose, or when you take these caps off, because if not, those bearings could go everywhere.
That's not good.
So we now have to...
Replace it.
How the fuck are we gonna handle this? I got nothing to joint, clamp to. I'll have to just lay it off the side.
Can you hold it? It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna just stop it for now. Does it work?
No play in that. That's beautiful.
Alright, that's a good thing. So right now, installing the...
We're installing new U-joints in the drive shaft, and we're going to install the new yoke. You got to make sure when you take these apart, you have to take these apart to be able to get this thing in there, and you have to see those bearings down in there and get them to stay in spots, so just be careful with that.
After much trial and error, we got the U-joint in.
It's a screwdriver.
But, oh shit.
I don't think I put it up. Yeah, I thought they were too long and too wide, but I think I just need it because they're fresh and new. I've never done this, FYI. I've watched videos. So as you can see, we now have all new drive shaft U-joints, and they are as they should be. They're pretty tight, you know. Same thing with the yoke. We bought a brand new yoke, and new. This is pretty tight as well. These are non-greasable bearings. We don't want greasable. I just don't want to screw with them. I don't want to have to get up under here and grease them every now and then. So this is brand new, and essentially brand new. I mean, you can see it. It's lightweight, like a $300 drive shaft. So normally these are like $300. You can get carbon fiber, but they're $1,100.
And I don't think we're going to spend $1,100 on an $800 car.
I mean,
I'm joking.
the car would be $1,900 afterwards. But I mean, this is some of the tools you may need. You know, you get something like some needle nose pliers. I use this to it's a pick. I checked in one of the lock channels to make sure that it was clean. And a hammer. And you have to get an appropriate size socket to go in there. And this one's like 1-to-1. So you want to use that and try to go straight. If you are not using a press. If you are using a press, which I recommend, it's a little easier. It will go a lot smoother and a lot straighter. I think one of ours kind of went crooked, but I mean, as you can tell, everything is solid. So we'll have to delegate to future Nick. That is his problem, not mine. So, but now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to remove the tail shaft extension housing. And once we're done with that, we're done for the day. Because I have to get these two, I have to get the exhaust over to the exhaust shop and get them to cut it up how I want it. And then I have to get the tail shaft, the bushing out, and get it prepped to be reinstalled. Once we're done with that, we can put the motor in, jack the car up, put the transmission in, cross member, and then we can put the drive shaft, exhaust, etc., etc. We do little stuff like the starter, which I forgot to include in the last video. I put it in the little title, but we can do the starter, and then the car is almost ready to go. We're going to go with a full exhaust system out of the white car because I like the sound of it, but I'm going to try to use, we have some pipes back there. I'm going to see if they're in good shape. I'm going to try to use those. I like the look of them, and I think it would look good sitting under this car. So, yeah, we'll do that, and let's get finished with this today because I am tired. So now we got the shifter off, which is just 4 bolts. We got to take this little roll pin out so we can get the tail shaft housing off. I think it's still down in there.
What is?
No, I think it's bottomed out. Yeah. So now we also have to take this thing off, because once we get that off, it will fall down in there and we can get it out. It was a 7/16. There might be enough fluid in here, it's probably going to cause a mess. So we got that pin out, but it's now stuck down there in the shifter. We're going to have to finish removing these bolts. We've got almost all of them out, except for one over here. It is right there. And there is this bracket in the way. We tried removing the bracket, but the bracket doesn't want to come loose. So for right now, we got things we got to do. I'm going to set it and leave it setting in some penetrating wool, and we'll have to come back to it middle of the week or next week or something. So yeah, we've got a decent amount accomplished today. Hopefully I'll have that broken loose by Thursday. We're going to take it and get that new bushing put in, and I got to get the shaft seal put in as well. We'll get the exhaust done, and hopefully we'll have the motor and trans in next week.
Yeah, we got a lot done, but this started to annoy us, and now we're really mad.
And we got things we got to do, so yeah, it just happens.
Whatever.
See you next week. All it literally does is holds that cable into this housing. Then we pull the cable out. We pull the fucking cable out. Now we're going to remove the starter. Now we're going to remove the starter. Oh, what size is it?
Oh, I farted.
Oh my god! That's a 20. Way too weird.
Oh my god, your voice. Way too big.
Big up enough. Party vlog.
Mama.
That one is in there. I can't even see it. Oh, hi, camera. That's an inch from my face.
You're welcome. Would you like your chain now?
Please.
To hang me?
Can you get my big chain that goes around my neck?
Here you go.
Let me show you the food in my teeth.
Oh my, I couldn't even see you here for half a second because the light was so fucking bright.
And get some paper towels.
I can't see it. Huh?
Hey, come on me. Fuck.
That is tough. Do we need any of the poo sauce?
The poo sauce.
Yeah. It looks like poo.
We take both of them.
With peanut butter.
Yeah, we'll do that. And let's get finished with this today because I am tired.